All right, so now we're on section 3. I don't know if there's anything odd of these or not, but I'm going to read verse 89 through 90 and 92 out of Psalm 119. It says, "Your word is eternal. It stands firm in the heavens. Your faithfulness continues through all generations. You establish the earth and it endures. If your law had not been my delight, I would have perished in my affliction." What? There's something there. If your law had not been my delight, I would have perished in my affliction. What? Questions. What was most limiting about your growing up years? Do you live by those limits now? What parts of your life do you hold back? Is it important to see a limit to all perfection? How does it affect your search for excellence? So for me, I guess I put what was the most limiting thing for me growing up is that we were poor. Didn't have enough money ever. Next question, do you live by those limits now? I'm not going to say I'm poor, I'm not, because I have a car, it's pretty brand new. I have a house, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a good job. I have two good jobs, actually. Working for two good things. I guess I'll say, I don't know if the government's good or not, but whatever. In the other words, Regent University, which is totally good. So, but yeah. So, do I live by those limits now? I'm going to say somewhat. Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not poor like I was when I was a kid, because like I have food in my fridge, I have food in my cupboards, I have stuff, like I have a buttload of stuff, actually. I don't know if that's a good word. Whatever. I have a lot of stuff. My kids have a lot of stuff. It's ridiculous the amount of things that we have. Really, it is. So to say that I'm poor like I was when I was a kid, no, that's not true. But I still am limited by money because I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, that's how I feel like I'm living, and in time, in this time, I guess, whatever, that since the divorce, like, I've actually had to rely on credit cards. I shouldn't say had to, because if I would have prayed and talked to God about it, he would have made a way. So my fault. But let's just put it this way. I use credit cards to buy things, go places, buy food, whatever, you name it, pay bills, whatever. Like, I use credit cards. So now I'm paying the consequences of that. Like, I have to pay those things. Like, I don't want to ruin my credit. I don't want things on my credit. So I have to pay for those things. So am I still limited? Yes. So I think that's about God working things out of me from being poor, the way it's affected me, and different things like that. So I'm coming out of it. Yes. Am I fully, completely there? No, I'm not going to say I am. What? No. Okay. What parts of your life do you hold back? And this is what I put. Speaking out and being used by God, because there's times where I feel like God is showing me something or telling me to do something and I don't necessarily do it. And it's, I guess, because it's like, in the movies how they have like a God on this shoulder and a devil on this shoulder. It's like God is telling me, this, like, Pastor Stephen talked about this weekend, like one of the things he was talking about was the things that we say to ourselves, like our first self, like the things that we say to ourselves, the things that we say are negative, the things that we put down about ourselves, and that's what the little devil over here does to me. He's like, who do you think you are? Like, let's see. Yeah, I always have this voice that says, who are you? Who are you to do X, Y, Z? Who are you to become this? Who are you to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that voice is like always there, constantly bothering me, and I have to watch the time because it's almost time for me to go to work. But we need to listen to that second voice, the God in us voice, and that's what Pastor Stephen said. And the good things, which he said is like our second self, like the good things about us, like how God sees us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we may not be worthy, we may not be good enough, but God sent his son to die for us, which made us worthy, you know what I'm saying? His shedding of the blood made us worthy, and if God chose us, like, who is anybody else to say anything, including the devil? You know what I'm saying? What? Is it important to see a limit to all perfection? I put yes, and that's coming from someone who was always a perfectionist, still a little bit of a perfectionist, and I put because no one is perfect. Like, you need to realize, like, no one is perfect. No matter how much you try, no matter what you think you are, or someone else thinks they are, like, no one is perfect, and no one will ever be perfect, period. How does it affect your search for excellence. I don't think it does really. Maybe a few times I'm like kind of just like, forget it, you know, why am I striving this hard? Why am I trying to be perfect? Because no one's going to be perfect, you know. But then I always go back to trying. I guess there's a difference between trying and trying to be perfect, you know. You should always put all you can to, that doesn't make sense, sorry. You should always put all you can in to do something, you know, but also know that you will never be perfect, you know. So I think those things kind of go hand in hand. Don't just not do something or try your hardest because you cannot be perfect, you know, but still put your all into it, you know. So in this section, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say there shouldn't be anything that limits us. If we're walking with God and we're a Christian, you know what I'm saying? We're limitless. I don't mean it to say it like get a big head or you can do whatever you want or anything like that. But with God on our side, the possibilities are endless. You know what I'm saying? If he called you to be XYZ, you know what I'm saying? Then you can do it. You know, when I was writing this, like I thought of Steph Curry for some reason, because I think I just heard somebody tell a little story about him. They were talking about his dad. It was a video I was watching. His dad was some basketball player for the Raptors. I think it's Toronto Raptors. I don't know if I'm wrong, sorry. And he had the son, and the son, excuse me, was Steph Curry. Well, everybody, I guess, and I'm paraphrasing my own words, what I heard, said that Steph Curry, you know, was not good enough. He was too small. He was too short, you know, to play basketball. And I think the guy said he's like a two-year MVP or something like that, I think. Anyway, I know he's a good ball player, whatever, okay? So he can shoot threes like nobody's business, okay? What? Okay, so there is no limit on God, you know, and he professes he's a Christian. I'm not one to say he's not. I'm not one to say he is. He says he's a Christian. I'm gonna go with it. And so, you know what people said was impossible, God made possible through him. You know what I'm saying? Because now he has this like platform where he can talk about God, him and his wife, you know, and they talk about their relationship and different stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So God gave him a platform to speak out about God, to bring others to him. So with God, I'm sorry, there's no limits. What? Take the limits off. What? There's no limits, you know. No matter how your life was when a kid, no matter how your life is now, if we truly live by the word and the things in that word, you know what I'm saying, and do what God says, there's no limits. I mean, like, God used you to the full capacity. That's how I'm going to end this video, because I got 5 minutes and I want to do the last one. So let God use you to your full capacity for him. You know what I'm saying? This world every day is getting worse and worse. And just think of the numerous people, you know, that need to be saved. Like, I think of so many people, you know, and it just breaks my heart. So let God use you to his full capacity, that you can be used each and every day on the face of the earth. Peace out. Video 4 coming up.